So I was searching around. I've been trying to figure out what are the possible tools that can help me, and I found one. It was UiPath. I designed a small process. This process was mainly doing the tasks that I have been doing on a daily basis. At that time, I found that I have a free capacity. I can do more. I can absorb more from my manager. It's the way we save time. At the end, when I came to the automation career, we call it the FTE savings, the full-time employee saving. Some people say that FTE saving is it's a horror movie, because at the end of the journey, they would say, you're gonna just kick us out of the job, and you will just bring the robots to do the work instead of us.
If you get that piece right, you actually have a cost saving on the other side. Exactly. Because you purchase more efficiently, yes. Less waste, less obsolete stock in the long run.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Digital Transformation Talks with Akadis Global. I'm your host, Khaled Akande, and today I'm joined by Sherif Ismail. Sherif is a practitioner of AI, and he has hands-on experience implementing and dealing with AI, LLMs at not only an enterprise level, but also in the public sector as well with government. So today we're going to dive into all things AI and all things that go into the governance of AI and the implementation of AI. And we're going to get some real takeaways today on how executives can actually measure the success and value of implementing AI. Sherif, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Khaled.
Why don't you start by telling us a bit more about yourself, your background, and what you're working on at the moment?
Okay. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today to talk about the automation and the AI journey. So when I come to my profile, I would say it was a turning point, because from the background education level, I've been graduated from a mechanical engineering department. So there's no there's no a common thing between mechanical engineering and software field. But the place where I started my journey, it was a place where I have been doing an automation on a daily basis, not on an automation by hands, but I have been doing a repetitive tasks. These repetitive tasks were giving me a dummy work. There's nothing that I'm being learning on a daily basis. So here I was thinking about how can I do these tasks without giving a lot of time for this. So I was searching around. I've been trying to figure out what are the possible tools that can help me, and I found one. It was UiPath. I designed a small process. This process was mainly doing the tasks that I have been doing on a daily basis. At that time, I found that I have a free capacity. I can do more. I can absorb more from my manager. And this is the story from the mechanical engineering to the automation to the AI. And after that, I joined one of the telecom companies in Egypt. And I found that if I was talking about an automation level in a small scale, in an industry zone, it became a very different when it came to a telecom, because we were calling the robots at that time a farm of robots, more than 1,000 robots around doing these tasks in an intelligent way and in a very smart way, where you're trying to meet the expectations of even if your customers. And after that, I was lucky to work at the end of my journey not the end of the journey, but as of now, we stay that one of the governmental sectors in UAE. It's Ministry of Finance.
Amazing.
And here I'm bringing my experience from all the previous companies to Ministry of Finance to build an AI automation center of excellence, where we can just leverage all the tools that has been hosted inside the Ministry of Finance to get the maximum benefits of data and everything there.
Amazing. No, that sounds like quite a journey to start, like you say, as a mechanical engineer and to end up at the ministry. That's incredible stuff. I want to go back a bit, and you touched on something which I think is really important at the beginning. You identified a pain point within your current work, a repetitive task that could easily be replaced by AI, and you went out, you designed a solution for it. And in doing that, you solved the problem for yourself. And byproduct of that is you had more capacity, you became more of a value add to your boss in the process, which is amazing. And I think I stress it all the time. This is the right approach when we talk about adopting AI. Start small with a pain point, a repetitive task, introduce the automation. Let's talk about the tool you used for that particular process you wanted to automate. You mentioned UiPath.
Yes.
For the audience, just give them a bit of an explanation about the software and its capabilities, and how easy or difficult it is to pick up from someone, for a novice.
Sure. So UiPath as a tool, I would say it's still a leading tool in the industry of automation and AI. And the best and the interesting thing about this tool that it is coming over an automation layer. This automation layer, it doesn't care about the applications which this enterprise is using. I would say at that time I was seeing myself doing Excel sheets, forecasting for a specific raw materials, planning for the production plan, and so on. So every day I go to this Excel sheet, build the same table, do the same filter criteria, and based on the results, I just make these purchase orders for the procurement so that they can bring the raw materials. So UiPath was able to do this by itself. I just gave them the rules. I just gave the tool what are the executive steps that need to be taken from the tool perspectives, and now it's doing the same thing. So it's the way we save time. At the end, when I came to the automation career, we call it the FTE savings, the full-time employee saving. Some people say that FTE saving is like it's a horror movie, because at the end of the journey they will say you're gonna just kick us out of the job and you will just bring the robots to do the work instead of us. But the fact that people should think about technology from the perspectives how they can get the maximum benefits of it, not because they are seeking for the FTE savings, but because of the humans, they would be very, very smart to do more tasks that AI till now they are not able to do it. So this is the real value of automation and AI. This is simply thing.
No, I couldn't agree more, and that's an excellent use case, because we've done similar for our clients, specifically when it comes to demand forecasting, because demand forecasting obviously ties into your planned purchase orders, and if you get that piece right, you actually have a cost saving on the other side. Exactly. Because you purchase more efficiently, less waste, less obsolete stock in the long run. So that's an excellent use case, and very impressed to hear that you've applied that. So just going back to UiPath now, you've obviously implemented this and put in the executive steps, and we'll talk about that in a second. But just in terms of the interaction with UiPath and whatever solution you're feeding the automation into, because obviously there's the Excel sheet, but was there another tool, an ERP tool or a manufacturing tool that it was integrating with?
Yes, what is interesting about UiPath, it doesn't care about the tools which is existing in this organization.
Right.
So for example, they have SAP, they have Oracle, they have whatever the names that they're having on.
Yeah.
It's very, very dynamic. It can cope with any of them, because it comes to the user interface automation level. So you just tell the robot, go click here, click here, click here, export the report, do some manipulation, and then this is the result, send it to an email. So it doesn't care about the way.
Right.
It's just dealing with a user interface. So whatever you as a human can do, this tool can do.
Okay.
But the good interesting point about it that it's coping with the business need. So nowadays there are people saying that we need to loop humans in our automation journey. It's not about doing a repetitive tasks based on a specific criteria. Now we need to onboard AI as well. We need to check what's the feasibility of putting OCR. OCR, it's like reading documents without a human reading it. It's just giving the document to a robot, and then this robot will be able to extract all the data inside this paper. So UiPath is being leading in this field nowadays, and I can see that it's killing all the market because of this technology. And there are still, I would say that they are still trying to get into very, very deep details with the business needs. So if they need a testing automation, you will find an automation testing tool for your business. If you need an OCR, you will find the OCR engine. If you need anything, UiPath will be just, here's it, let's take it. So this is the interesting about UiPath. And I see actually there's a lot of competing tools coming nowadays. I was telling that whenever you scroll your LinkedIn now, you will see, okay, we have designed a new tool that it's coming to the market nowadays, and it's a very fresh one. It's nothing. By the end of the day, you will just, when you're still scrolling your LinkedIn or even your Instagram or something, you'll see that this is an outdated technology. So nowadays, a lot of companies are giving a lot of effort to get the maximum of technology in the tools they are providing for the stakeholders. So this is
It's the great AI race
Yes.
that's currently happening.
we are afraid about this.
Yeah, everyone's afraid,
Yes.
and it's like you said, it's the race that everyone's running to try and get the best products, their first product out, and I see it as well. There's many companies that are advertising solutions which are all in theory and are all experimental. What I love about the approach you take of, I'm going to take an existing pain point I have. I'm going to find an easy to onboard solution like UiPath. I'm going to program it. And I say programming, very loosely because it's very user friendly in terms of you don't need to have a programming background, but I'm going to program it and I'm going to actually have a production ready solution that I'm implementing for myself and the company I work for. And I think it's, I would expect it's because you've done that and you was able to demonstrate that. That's what led you down the path to working in the telecom industry with the likes of Vodafone, right?
Yes.
So now let's talk about, this is you developing AI for yourself and your role. You've now almost graduated to another level. You're working at an enterprise scale for Vodafone.
Yes.
Talk to us about your role there and what you implemented there or worked as part of from an AI point of view there.
Okay. If I just get to the memory, the journey is still also exciting and it was very interesting to tell. At that time when I joined, they were seeking for an optimization. They bring the automation to a level where we are not just saving the FTE's time to get the maximum benefits of the employees. We need also to optimize the hardware resources that Vodafone has bring into their premises in order to get more cost reduction and savings. So we try to bring the automation to cloud solutions. We try to merge two solutions together in order to get this maximum benefit. At that time, we have been hosting, I think, more than 1,000 robots, if I'm not mistaken. That was like since 3 years ago. I don't know now how it looks like, but I'm confident it might be big more than this. At Vodafone, the migration from the on-premises hardware resources to cloud, it was the ego of like all the companies was doing at that time. But when they were reading and trying to put what's the benefits behind this, they saw that there is a lot of benefits from the cost. But when it came to a real life, that wasn't like this.
Right.
They saw that they have been paying more than the on-premises solutions. So we are now in a position, we don't have to roll back. We cannot roll back, but we need to think about more ideas that we could integrate new technologies that is in place right now in order to save the cost. Because we cannot go to our managers and say, okay, we have been paying $1 million for this, and now we are paying $2 million for the same thing. It's not possible. So we're bringing new technologies. These technologies is trying to put like a vision and a time frame for each robot. Like, okay, this robot will work exactly from 8 to 10 because the work need is only in this time, at that time. So there is no need to buy a machine so that the robot can work on this machine for the 24 hours. You are just buying 2 hours inside one of the servers to do this specific task, and that's it.
Right. Okay.
And then you try to optimize more in your code in order to avoid like this stuck or this unexpected behaviors from the robots. Because at that time, automation was like dumb. It was just following a specific steps, agreed steps with the stakeholders, and that's it. So bringing to your code a place where you can give the robot the possibility to say, okay, now I will stop in order to optimize my resources, or I'll just wait for an input from a human, and that's it.
Right.
So at the end of the journey, we were able to literally optimize the cost, I think, more than 50%, because we avoiding from buying 1,000 server, we have been putting less number than this. So this is the journey. If you were not able to plan in the correct way where you are going to put your money in, And if you are not well prepared for this change, of course, you will be losing. It's not about investing because we are all going to AI. I think nowadays people are saying that we are a company or enterprise, we have hosted AI. But when we get into the real world, are you sure that you are an organization or an enterprise which is capable to host an AI solutions or no? Did you calculate this? Did you see that you are on the way where your data is literally able to be used inside the AI level or not? So this is questions that a lot of people doesn't have the answer. But if you got the answer from an enterprise level, you will be able to get the maximum benefits of AI. You know, you can just open ChatGPT and ask him about what should I eat today. But the same person can use this tool in order to get a written code where he can save his time reading emails. He can just filter specific emails, and when he finds this specific email, just reply back to it without even taking into consideration that he will do this himself. So this is the way. Are you ready or you're not ready? Are you willing really to use the AI, or you're just coping with the market because you must have the AI? Right. This is the point.
So that's a really good scenario there. So in that scenario, there is an existing platform and service being offered and being facilitated by the robots.
Yes.
Right. And what you've done there is, instead of introducing a new solution or changing the robots or increasing the robots, you've actually found a solution to optimize and introduce into the code an optimization piece, which means the robots, if they don't need to, don't run 24/7 round the clock. They run at optimal periods. So what level of intelligence are you introducing to the code there? Is it to the point where they are judging the workloads for themselves, or have you got some kind of metric or KPI that they're running against?
We have a specific KPIs. We have an agreed SLA with the business.
Right.
We have a number of transactions. These transactions, for example, we have 100 transactions. Each one of them will take from the robot 3 to 4 minutes. So at the end, 100 multiplied by 4, it's like 400 minutes.
Right.
If we are expecting that the SLA is only 2 hours, that means that 400 minutes will never meet the SLA, which is agreed with the stakeholders. So how can you get into this? So now you need to assign another robot. You just bring it from home and just put it in place. Just run aside the other one so that instead of 400 minutes, now it's only 200 because two working together parallelly. But is it still meeting the SLA or not meeting the SLA? So let's bring another one. Okay. And that's it. Until you see that these KPIs are met based on, it's not that smart. As at the end, you're just putting a framework, a criteria that the robot should follow. It shouldn't be like as is, but it's a frame that the robot shouldn't get out of this. If you are able to understand exactly what is needed from your tool, you will be able to get the maximum benefit.
So then, so on the KPIs and on this solution, I'm really interested to know about your interaction with the executives, because the goal here is optimization, and you've got the KPIs from the SLAs that you're trying to meet. What is the driver for them in implementing this and bringing you and the rest of your team in to carry out this work? What's the driver for them as a strategic driver for them as a business?
Yeah, good point. Whenever it comes to the executives, at the beginning of the journey, it's very hard to convince them that you guys should automate. When you ask them about the automation opportunity, you will say, no, we don't have. It's like this, just keep it and don't touch it. Since it's working, keep away. And when suddenly you're letting him that he's meeting his KPIs, oh, okay, now I see that my customer satisfaction level is increasing. I can see that my SLA to a customer service is meeting more than perfect. So this is the way, this is the trigger point. If he is not able to measure this actual, so he will not be interested, because it has also a cost. Yeah. So when we buy a license, when we just onboard the technology, this is like a big plenty of money, and you have to convince not only your team or the board, you have to convince the CFO, and the CFO should convince the CEO, and it's a big challenge. So if you are able to bring the real value and to represent it with numbers, with money, you are here investing and you're putting X $1,000 compared to the savings that you have bring because of the transaction that has been completed in less time. Okay, now I can see how it gives me, how is the return of investment. So in the same enterprise, you have one employee doing the same job on a daily basis. It's only 8 hours. And if you're going to make it 24 hours, so you need to hire 3 people. Nowadays, and even if you hire the 3 people, you will only get the maximum of their time is like 3 to 4 hours maximum per day, which is the productivity. And after that, the pace will just get down until the end of the day and so on. But the robot, it's just plug and play.
Yeah.
He can get the same job done. Instead of 10 minutes per one transaction, it can be like 2 or 3 minutes, and maybe less than this in other cases. So here's the value. This guy is getting this job done in like X time, and then can just make the same job in a very, very less time.
Yeah.
Here he can touch it. Here he can say, okay, yeah, I can see there's an investment where it can bring me more money because I will finish more job in less time. Yeah. This is the value of.
No, I really like that, and I like that it's the strategic decision is based on a clear goal that's being quantified, and not necessarily quantified as a revenue generating amount, but also as a cost saving, and also they view the ROI from the point of view of this FTE savings as well, not necessarily on the people, but the. Again, I think it's important to clarify. When we talk about FTE savings, you're not necessarily talking about replacing people.
Yes, exactly.
You're talking about freeing up the time of those people to do more value-add activity and give more to the business. So that's great. Let's now progress further and let's talk about this role that you've recently had with the government and the ministry and how you got there and what the goal was to achieve there.
So this opportunity came because, like, I would say one of my old managers, he hunted me. He told me, okay, now I left for Vodafone, but I need you to come with me. And we have some projects in UAE, and one of them, I'm confident that you will be fitting in it. I don't know exactly what the customer need, but I know that Sherif will just come plug and play, and he will fit and he will meet the expectations. Okay, are you willing to travel? Okay, I'll travel. Let's see this. Okay, it's like just 3-4 months, maximum 6 months. And now I'm here since 2 years because we didn't finish the job yet. Because whenever we say this is the end, no, there's more and more.
Give us
and
more.
Because technology is just it doesn't has an end. So you're still giving and you will do your best to get the maximum where you can just give all what you have to a place. Because at the end, it's a win-win situation. They are investing and you are learning from this investment. So this is the way. When I arrived to the Ministry of Finance, that was since 2 years, and I came and the technology was very, very outdated. They have been using like UiPath version of 2019, and now it's 2023. Oh my God, even some features is not available.
Yeah.
I can't even know what are the features which is existing now because I'm not using this version since ages. I was shocked at the beginning. But first thing I raised up, okay, team, I have to just fresh all of this, and we need to cope with the trends, and we need to cope with the current features that we have in UiPath capabilities.
Yeah.
Let's first upgrade. And after we upgrade, let's see what we can do. And that was the first challenge that I challenged the people when I arrived. This guy, he just arrived to the place and he was asking for an upgrade. How's it? But after convincing them, after telling them what's the benefits behind the upgrade, we will be able to get more features in X, Y, and Z. They said, okay, let's give him a chance. And then I found that, okay, we have upgraded, but we're still not able to get the data. We have a lot of data scattered everywhere, but these data were not reported in a way where I can use them to see if my robots is working properly or no. They have invested with a good number of robots, and this is like hundred thousands of dollars. So I'm just afraid. I have to think after 1 year, would they ask me, are we utilizing our current licenses or not utilizing them? So I have first to grab the data to make sure that we are able to have a real value.
Yeah.
And then we would see that, okay, now we are not utilizing. So we are investing with a lot of money, but these investments can put us in a position where we're not getting benefits. We're just putting money in the air. What was the challenge? That we have a pipeline of projects or some processes around different departments inside Ministry of Finance, but these processes is like just processes which is very simple one. I wouldn't say it's adding value, because when they launched the project at that time, the plan wasn't putting automation on a level where it's saving time. It's because it was a strategic
Yeah.
goal. It should be met by all the governmental sectors around. So I was planning that first I need to get into more to the business, to understand finance, to understand each department, what they are doing,
Yeah.
and to get closer to the people. Because when a new one just come, tell them we are seeking for the FTE savings, we're seeking for automating new processes, they just bring to their attention, okay, this guy is coming here to just remove us from current
To replace
position,
us.
to replace us. No, guys, it's not like this. I'm trying to bring the value where you can get this dump work out of your scope, and then you can focus on more strategic work,
Yeah.
which is the robots and the AI at that time is not able to do this. So I decided to go with the discovery sessions across all the government departments to build the pipeline of processes where we can implement, design, and develop and operate these processes. I had a team of people around me working with different technologies. So I decided even to utilize them as a technical people to work with me on this.
Okay.
So we have UiPath, we have Data IKU, we have Tableau for the dashboard representation. Okay, we have several tools. Let's put them together and see what we can bring.
Okay.
So we have been doing this. We are getting the data. We are presenting the data on Tableau dashboards, for example. So we are able to track the KPIs of the department. We are able to track the KPIs from the ministry level. Even some dashboards, I'm not able to see it because it only goes for the upper director levels. But it's focusing on a KPIs where the upper directors are willing to know.
Yeah.
So it was like this. I have to dig deeper in each department and to see what's the maximum benefit. I can bring one of the use cases actually that it was very challenging and very interesting as well. It's two, but one of them was very complex. It's for the procurement,
Okay.
because my journey was started from the
Yeah.
procurement. So, that's
It's your comfort area.
Yeah, that's
your,
my
your
comfort
expertise. Yeah.
When it comes to the supplier registration, this entity as a governmental sector, Ministry of Finance, you have thousands of suppliers where they are trying to register on their platform. But it's only a department that consists of 5 employees, and there are thousands of suppliers they want to register. How would those 5 employees be able to read all the trade licenses, all the ICV certificates, and other documents to track if this supplier is suitable for this registration or not? It's a very, very hectic work, and it needs hours and hours and hours. And of course, you will not be able to finish, because once you finish, supplier will be registered and so on. This is the fact. So you have to think about how can we minimize the work to be a very, very minimal effort. Now, what's the requirements? We need to validate that these trade licenses for this specific supplier is valid. You need the trade license number. You need this expiry dates. You need the vendor name. It's very small specific parameters that you are extracting as an employee. And then you're checking if this supplier has in-country value certificate.
Okay.
And this kind of things. After that, you can go directly to this portal and just add this supplier to this portal. The things was automated or fully automated by a robot and an OCR engine just reading these documents. And if some documents are not confident by the robot that they are able to read or no, we can just go directly to the human to ask them if we can add this supplier or no. So this is the journey of procurement.
So I'm just going to jump into your story there, because I think that's an excellent use case. One, I like the idea of, okay, we now need to look at the business processes across the group, across all departments, look at the tools we have, and actually marry the two up into a solution and a journey and a transformation journey, and create a bit of a roadmap. So you're addressing people and the process. And then I'm going to come, and I'm sure you're going to come in a moment to data. But then in terms of the solution you just spoke about, utilizing OCR for those registrations, because I've seen those portals and I know the volumes of supplier data that comes through those portals. So having OCR present to actually do that verification of a valid record or pre-qualification, if you like. And it's important that people understand, again, you know, because everyone's always going to come back to, is AI replacing people? Well, you've got these exceptions that will pop up where maybe someone's document is not recognized, or something, they filled something out in the wrong way. That now needs to go out, and that needs human intervention. So maybe just something for the audience, you know, the robots are not taking over just yet.
Yeah, exactly.
We still need people. But no, it's interesting to see that implemented, because just quantify, if you can, very high level, how much time do you think that one piece of automation with the supply registration saved the business users?
It has a savings from two perspectives.
Yeah.
When it comes from the technical person or from the procurement department, one supplier can take up to from 10 to 15 minutes to just validate and to go to the Ministry of Economy to make sure that these documents are correct. It takes more than 10 minutes. And nowadays, it's just APIs integrations. It's maybe 3 to 4 minutes maximum.
Okay.
So it's more than 70%.
Wow.
So it's a huge number.
Wow.
And when it comes to the real supplier who is registering, nowadays he's not expecting to wait 1 month if he is going to be registered or no. So the savings comes for the two directions.
Okay.
Now he is able to know if he's not qualified for the registration, what is the pending actions in a very shorter time. And this is the vision of UAE. It's not only in Ministry of Finance. I can see even ICP nowadays, when you're just trying to get a visa for somewhere, you just get it in like 4 or 5 days. So it's amazing one.
Yeah.
And if there is something which is pending on this person who is submitting the documents, the photo is not meeting the criteria, this automation tool directly go back to this person. Okay, you need to modify this. You need to get these documents in a different way. So the reason even is there. But as we know that even AI is not, it's smart. We cannot say that it's not smart. But there's some level of confidence that you cannot go beyond it. And that's why we must bring the human in loop. Sure. We must say that human is still the main source. He's the one who's getting or using the tool to get the benefit of it. But it's not because of the tool replacing the human. It can never be like this. And even all the current technology and all the current companies which is pitching in the automation and AI level, one of the things that they are pitching in with is the human in loop. Human in loop is a mandatory stage. And if you're presenting a tool which is providing AI for people, they cannot go with it, because we cannot say that AI is 100% confident. There's hallucination. There's a lot of stuff.
There is,
you can just one of the things that I saw closely, like on LinkedIn, or I think it was on Instagram, a guy was asking at what in which day in Ramadan al-Hajj come. It's completely 2 different months.
Yeah,
and ChatGPT was answering this question that it comes within like the first week in Ramadan. So how is it? It's a hallucination.
Yeah.
So we say that ChatGPT is amazing, but sometimes it's not amazing.
Yeah, I've heard these stories of hallucination. It's a recent thing that I've actually just seen, and I've seen a few people. They're putting tests in to kind of almost force ChatGPT into giving the wrong answer, then confirming the wrong answer with confidence, which is why we say you still need that. I always say, if people are wondering how to onboard AI and how to evolve with it, you have to learn. Again, we say programming AI, but we're not talking about programming in the traditional sense. We're talking about prompts. We're talking about what are the executive steps you're asking the solution to perform. And to do that, you just need to really be an expert in what you do.
Exactly, yes. And this is the advice.
Yeah.
If you are a person working in whatever you're working in, you need to understand how prompts can change the direction of AI. If you're just giving the direction where the AI tools should go search, acting as a specific person with a specific job criteria, it will do this job. But if you change in these prompts, the output must be different. And you cannot be confident that the same outputs will be identical. It's impossible. So you should learn. You should think about how you get the benefit of AI with your capabilities.
Yeah.
If you're an engineering or even doctor, whatever it is, you have to think from this direction.
Agreed.
How can I uh, um, get the maximum benefit of AI with my own capabilities?
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I agree. And so we've covered so far, systems, and we've spoken about UiPath and some of the OCR solutions and the automation. We've talked about the process and how it was impacting the people, and your approach in addressing those people across all the departments. Now, finally, let's talk about the data. And because you mentioned when you came in that there were solutions in place. They want to use AI, they want to adopt AI, but AI is not able to get the data. They have a vast amounts of data. AI is not even it doesn't have access to the data. When it does have access to the data, it's not in the right format for AI to be working in an optimal way. So how did you address that and deal with that?
Okay, first, as I mentioned, I get into each department. I wanted to understand the finance. I was coming from mechanical engineering fields and then to the software. So I got to know each transaction, it's referring to what. What is this description written in an invoice number? It should be like this, or we can just change in the description so it could be much more descriptive for the solutions. So I was doing this. I was going for each transaction, asking about this reference so that I can represent it in a way where whenever I extract this data, I'm able now to understand we have completed X number of invoices, and those invoices were domestic and non-domestic.
Right. Okay.
This is the way we've been working on this. It's not only represented in like an Excel sheet with some tables. No, we came to a level where we just represented on a dashboards. These dashboards were very dynamic, and it's very live showing data, and it's representing the data on even a seconds of every second the fresh data is represented there. So, and the good interesting thing that we didn't buy tools which is doing this already. We have been utilizing the internal tools which Ministry of Finance has invested in without putting more into their cost or their budget to buy more tools. So this is the best thing. You can just connect all of them together, get them combined, and get the maximum benefit.
That's amazing. Just going back to the invoices. So you mentioned there you've now got the live dashboards. What are the live dashboards showing you? Is it live dashboards in relation to the data and sort of volumes and quantity?
Yes,
Was it? Yeah.
it's the volumes, the man hours saved. You can track even the successful and non-successful transactions. So for the non-successful transaction, you can just go after that to make your fix in the code so that you can increase the performance of the robot itself. So the numbers are measurable, and these measurements can help you to find the path where you can just leave this as is, or you can just add more.
Change.
So this is the thing how you can get the maximum benefit of data.
Thanks, Sherif. So now let's move on to UAE Vision 2030, and there's a big push at the government level to move towards AI first, AI driven government processes and services, both for organizations, for businesses, and for citizens as well. From your perspective, how are we positioned today in meeting that vision? And then as a follow-up question, where do you see the opportunity for executives today wanting to onboard AI and the quickest route to go and the quickest route to ROI for them?
Okay. From my point of view, when I talk about UAE is, they are pioneering the AI right now. So when we talk about the UAE, from my point of view, UAE is now getting into like the rocket of AI. And I would see that most of the governmental services that we are using on our daily basis is an AI-driven solution. So AI is the market where all the companies are now get into it as a blue ocean in order to use the AI and to position themselves using the AIs and so on. So UAE is the green field where we are currently using the AI, even when you're buying your food from Noon, for example. So
Yeah.
AI is everywhere.
Right. And I appreciate that. And so from one point, we're going to be seeing, and we are seeing from some service, AI from the front end. And when we talk about AI from the front end, we're talking about AI agents, right? If you can, just give us, and from your experience, can you give us a bit more about what's happening in the back end? Again, are we talking, and for the audience, are we talking more agentic AI now? And obviously there's a difference there. Are we talking LLMs? What are we looking at behind the scenes?
I will bring a real life scenario that happened to me that was like 1 month back. One of my family members lost her earpods in one of the taxis inside Dubai. We live in Abu Dhabi, but in Dubai, we tried to move from a place to another, and we lost this thing. And as any normal person, just go into the mobile, try to reach out to the RTA in order to find your lost thing. And I was shocked that when I was talking to someone on phone, it was an AI agent. It was asking me about the name. It was asking me about what exactly was lost. And then after a couple of answers, I found that they created a ticket on their internal system. And they're telling me now your lost item has been has been logged somewhere, and we are gonna follow up about this lost item, and we will reach you back after some time. I was like, oh my god, where we're living? We're living in space or something. And after a couple of days, people called me from RTA and they were asking me about feedback about this service. Honestly, that was like shocking experience because even the way I was talking, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't like, I'm not able, like, should I speak Arabic or English? And the agent was able to track exactly what I want. So that was one of the amazing experiences that happened to me. The ticket was raised on their internal system. So there is a back end talks between the AI agents and their services and their systems. And I logged this issue or this incident at that time. So UAE is in a different place.
Yeah, that's an excellent story, excellent use case. To be honest, if I got the call for feedback on that session, I'd be very keen to give feedback because, yeah, like you, I would have been shocked to have been on the phone to an agent, but also to have actually. So you got it resolved in the end? You got the AirPod back?
Unfortunately, it wasn't even lost. It was in my hometown, so that was just the scenario. But the real case was completely amazing experience.
Absolutely. That's great. So we're seeing now implemented it's already AI driven, and it's they're doing the best to be AI first. And I agree with you. In the UAE, it is greenfield. They are pioneers, and they're open to everything, all ideas. But with that comes the decision making, and we get into the conversation around ethics and ethics around the agents themselves and ethics around the access to data and privacy. So in your experience, again, you've worked at a government level. So when we talk about red tape, there's no higher level of red tape than at government level. So just talk to us about your experience in dealing with governance and the ethics of introducing automation and AI solutions.
So when it comes to the ethics of data, you can limit your agents to what they should see or what they don't see. And even they can tell them what should they expose and what they shouldn't expose. Right. So another example, if you are trying to book an hotel room and you're talking to an AI agent, maybe through chatbot or something, and try to ask the same chatbot, who is booking like X room number 201 on the same day where I'm arriving to this hotel. He will directly tell you that this is a confidential information that you shouldn't know. So this is the way. There's some back-end coding and criteria which we usually consider in our implementation phase in order to avoid the hallucination and in order to avoid the privacy exposure for data. So this is a must. And whenever you design any solution, it's ABC that you must implement, and you should get into it before even doing anything. And you should have also a high-level sign-off from the security team that you are on the track where you are exposing this data, either if it's inside your premises or outside your premises. So this is something that we cannot go out of it. So it's a must.
I absolutely agree. And I think it's good. It's a good point to clarify. And I agree with you completely. it's right at the start of the journey of even the thought of introducing AI or any kind of automation. We need to have this sign off at that point there. And just as important to understand is the responsibility of the data governance and protection of people's data is not on the host provider of the wherever you host your AI solution. It's on the responsibility of the organization
Exactly, yes.
putting the solution to the client. So, and it's their responsibility to make sure. So, the hotel room is a great example, right? Let's just to simplify things. Let's say Copilot is being used in this example. It's not Microsoft's responsibility to protect the hotel room information. It's the responsibility of the hotel to build into their code and into their agents that this particular information cannot be shared and must be secured at the highest level. So I think that's a great point to raise, because I think there's a lot of conversations that goes on around, sort of the ethics of these agents, and can they still be effective if they don't have that level of access? But I think they can have that level of access, but they can have that level of access to that data, but controls around what they present out to end users is where the control needs to be applied. So it's an important point that you raise. And then so moving on from the ethics, and let's looking forward to the future now. Where is the future if we're already using AI agents, and we can see from the use cases you've shared over this episode, agentic AI is also in place in the background. Where's the future of AI going currently? Let's just talk about in this region, in your field, and what you see.
AI is, I would say, as of now, where we stand, you cannot even see where it's gonna end, because on a daily basis you will find new LLMs, you will find new solutions, new technologies onboarded. So there's no word can say that after 5 years, 10 years, AI will just be accomplished and it will be gone. So AI, we're still in the beginning. We're still trial and error. Even ChatGPT, even Google. I think one of the things that was interesting when Google were pitching Gemini at that time, there was shock that when they are trying the test cases in front of field or in front of the people, the answers wasn't expected, because it was shocking for all the people. I think that was OpenAI, not Google. So the fact that we're still in that, it's like in the baby now.
Discovery stages.
And early discovery stages. The point is where the countries and the industries, they're gonna use this technology in order to change the business life, not only their business scopes, but even the users, even the customers. So instead of waiting for a long queue on phone, someone to answer me and then take my incident as a problem, and then they should ask me what's the color of the taxi. Okay, we will create this ticket. It would take a longer time. But when I just called, someone answered. It was an AI agent, and then I gave it all the description of my incident. It was sorted out. That was like 5 minutes, and instead of waiting like for 15 minutes, 20 minutes on a queue. So I was satisfied. The experience was amazing. So AI is something great.
No, I agree completely. And I want to pose one last thing to you here is, if we go right back to the beginning of your story and you creating that automation in the repetitive task that you faced and implementing that and bringing it to production and then seeing the business benefits. And if we extrapolate that out now to enterprise organizations, governments around the world, executives everywhere who are wanting to start this AI journey, who are wanting to onboard AI, ideally, based on what you've explained to us today, ideally they're onboarding it for the right reason, right strategic reasons for the ROI, whether it's cost savings, whether it's improved efficiency in the workforce, whether it's revenue generation, not for marketing purposes, just so you can say you're an AI company. But if those are the reasons they're doing it, how do they get started? What's the first step? Who are they looking for in the market to help them bring this vision to life, ideally?
Okay, first, I think they should ask themselves, are we adapted to AI or no? Are we ready to get the AI or no? So the first thing, if the answer was no, we should in this stage think about reorganizing the organization in order to think once more if we are adapted to AI or no. Because a lot of organization now you're just working as is. They don't have documentations for their processes. They don't have a real references for each transactions. So for this purpose, if we're adapting AI, I would say it's just for the marketing purpose, but there is no real value behind it. So the first thing that you need to think about the current data, the current processes, the current documentations that you're putting, the current as-is business use cases that within all your departments or all your employees. Once you are ready, you can just think about which tool exactly I should use. If I'm only seeking, if I'm a customer service, I shouldn't go for the OCRs and this stuff. I should think about the voice to text, voice to, it's the completely different one. So I have to think about which tool exactly I should use. And if I selected the suitable tool for my use cases, I would be able now to get the value behind the AI itself. So it's a journey. You cannot say that let's go to more adapt Gemini or even OpenAI to your platforms and then go with AI. No, it's completely different. You have to study yourself. You have to know, I'm ready or not I'm ready. But if you're not ready, you must think about when exactly you will be ready for this. Because if you stayed as is, just a couple of years and then your business will just be far away from other business, and you will not be even saying that I'm in a red ocean or a blue ocean. I'm just swimming in the pool. It's completely different. So you have to think, I must adapt with the AI technologies as soon as possible so that I can cope with the market. Whatever the business I'm just doing, whatever the sales I'm getting, whatever you're doing, you have to think, I need to adapt with the AI.
No, I think that's a great response to that. And I align with that. And I think what we've seen from outside at Akadis Global, we've now got clients at different stages of that journey you describe. We've got clients today who we are helping with that first bit, which is actually what is the strategic goal of AI for you? Like, what are you trying to achieve out of this? And we're actually sitting down with them, doing the exact same thing you did, which is understanding process, understanding where they are today, where they want to be tomorrow, their readiness and suitability for AI, and then building that roadmap for them. But then we have other clients who, like you say, are a bit further along. They are AI ready. They have good practices with data. So for those people, it's, okay, let's now identify the right solution for what you need based on what are we trying to achieve from this. So I like that you mentioned there the bit about the solution, right? Because again, if it's customer service, yes, it's voice to text, and it's agents of that ilk. If it is record keeping and onboarding and invoice transactions, OCR works perfectly in that scenario.
Yes.
So I like the fact that you spoke about the picking the right solution, because that's something that's oftentimes missed. Some people implement, we specialize in ERP, and people implement ERP and they need to implement ERP, but then they'll throw out a requirement which has nothing to do with ERP. It's like, this is to do with your data and your reporting, and that's BI, and it's linked, but it's separate. So I like that you mentioned that. And I think finally, I guess as an expert in this field, just for the viewers at home, maybe your 3 top tips for onboarding AI and creating new AI solutions and identifying the best places for that ROI.
First, you should teach your employees. You need to let them understand what's the AI and what's the benefits that they're gonna get from the AI. Because from the perspective of employees, maybe they only think about money. Some people see that this is the only purpose where I'm working now.
Yeah.
So if you just show them the benefits from the AI and how our sales is gonna be enlarged, that will go back to you, and of course you will get more money.
Yeah.
So now they have a passion to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Because you meet that need of, okay, I'm here for money.
Yes.
Okay, sales goes up, I get paid more. And
But some employees, they need the chance. They
Okay.
just need you to give them the chance to implement new solutions. So first, it comes from inside the employees, because business without employees, it will never be business.
Agreed.
One person or even 10%, whatever the scale of employees. So investing inside your business from the perspectives of person would come in the first place before even technology, because whenever you teach them, it will make you easy to implement other solutions after that. So this is the tip. The second one, from my perspective, is selecting the right tools where you are going to take in your consideration while you're building your business. I think there's a lot of things, but I would say this is the top tips that you need to focus on. And of course, that you have to be within the trends. You have to read a lot. You have to see what's going on around you. This is the challenging. And every day, in the morning and in the afternoon and at night, you have to check where we stand with the technologies, because every second there is something new.
Yeah, but those are excellent tips, and I like what you focused on there. So people as the number one priority. I think training them and creating experts of process within your organizations, and then upskilling those people with the necessary training and knowledge of AI solutions ties into selecting the right solutions, or at least identifying the right problems to automate, therefore driving the right solution selection. And actually, when you create experts and you empower people with the knowledge, and you empower people with the ability to innovate and find solutions to problems, those people tend to stay up to speed with the latest technology. So I like those three things you mentioned, because they all tie together, and I think those are three great tips for any business. So Sherif Ismail, it's been great having you on the show today. You've provided great insight.
Thank you so much.
And I hope to speak with you again soon.
Such a pleasure for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.